Hello guys, welcome back. You guys sent me a video with a strange title. The original link is going to be down below in the description, but the title is the Philippines the most sinful country? I mean, what the hell? What title is that? I don't think so, that our country, because I consider myself a Filipino, it's sinful at all. It's the most holy country. But this is what we're going to discover in this video. Feel free to subscribe to the channel if you like what you're seeing. And let's go and dive in a little bit, because I don't like this title. That's it. And I want to understand more. The suggestion of the video comes from Mark.
Think you know Southeast Asia? Just wait until you discover the Philippines, where funerals can turn into gambling parties. Christmas starts in September, and people call each other names like Pepsi or Honey. In this video, I'm taking you through some strange, mildly shocking, but completely true facts about the Philippines, a country that feels familiar, yet turns everything upside down in the most unexpected ways. No one. Filipino funerals. A party and a gambling night. And the very first fact might completely change the way you think about the most solemn tradition in any country. Funerals in the Philippines. In many parts of the world, funerals are quiet, respectful gatherings where people come to mourn the loss of a loved one. But in the Philippines, funerals take on a much more unique, and to many foreigners, even surprising character. These ceremonies often last anywhere from 3 days to an entire week. It's not just a time to remember the deceased, but also an occasion for friends, neighbors, and extended family to gather, share food, chat, and sometimes even play card games right next to the coffin. The atmosphere is often filled with laughter, conversations, and even the sounds of children playing. While this might feel strange or even shocking to outsiders, for Filipinos, it's a cultural expression of togetherness and community support. There are two main reasons behind this unusual tradition. First, according to local beliefs, family and friends must stay awake by the coffin overnight to watch over the body and prevent evil spirits, known as
the tradition
aswang,
in Romania
from
as well.
disturbing or stealing the soul of the deceased. Playing cards helps everyone stay alert through the night. Second, the winnings from these games are often pooled together to help cover the funeral costs, showing a strong spirit of solidarity among the living. This blend of festivity and gambling has become a distinctive cultural practice that leaves many foreign visitors both amazed and puzzled. But to Filipinos, it's a deeply human and heartfelt way for the community to share in the grief and help one another through loss.
And that's beautiful.
Number 2, living with the dead. In a country where funerals can feel like lively parties and the living stay up all night playing cards to watch over the dead, it might not come as a surprise to learn that right in the heart of Manila, some people actually live side by side with the deceased. The North Cemetery is one of the most unusual places in the Philippines. It's not just a burial ground, it has also become home to thousands of people. The reason behind this is simple: poverty.
I have a video about this.
In Manila sky high, many poor families cannot afford to rent or buy a home.
This
Out of
is
necessity,
sad.
they've taken shelter in the cemetery, which offers roofs, open spaces, and a quiet environment. What started as temporary shelter gradually became permanent. Over time, people began building brick houses right on top of tombs or between the pathways. Children play on gravestones, adults cook meals beside crypts, and some even run small shops or earn a living by maintaining graves. Eventually, a fully functioning community emerged within the cemetery. Still, while life here may have become normal for the residents, to outsiders, the scene often feels eerie and surreal.
No,
Some
for me
old
it
tombs
feels
have
sad,
crumbled, exposing
for,
human bones.
for
Skulls
how
and arm
many,
bones can
how much it
sometimes
costs
be seen lying in corners
an
or
apartment.
behind makeshift toilets. At night, the atmosphere turns even colder and more unsettling, surrounded by the silence of neighbors who will never speak. Number 3, stray dogs everywhere. As you walk through the streets or narrow alleys of almost any area in the Philippines, one of the first things you'll notice is the number of dogs everywhere. These stray dogs roam freely, either alone or in small groups, running around the streets without leashes or muzzles. In the Philippines, there are no strict dog ownership laws like in the US or Europe. Most of the dogs are owned by families but are allowed to wander freely throughout the day. On top of that, there are also many stray dogs that don't belong to anyone. What's remarkable is that the majority of these dogs are gentle. They rarely bark at strangers or act aggressively. Instead, they coexist peacefully with people.
Beautiful.
Many are seen lounging on sidewalks in the shade, resting in quiet corners,
they're so cute.
or casually following children around without causing any trouble. Filipinos have long grown used to sharing their public spaces with dogs, seeing it as a normal part of daily life. But for foreign visitors, especially those from countries where dogs are strictly controlled or trained, mainly for protection, watching these free-roaming, laid-back dogs chilling among humans can be a truly strange and surprising sight. Number 4. Filipinos still eat dog meat. Because the sight of friendly stray dogs is so common in the Philippines, many foreigners find it even harder to believe that in certain parts of the country, the practice of slaughtering dogs still exists as part of traditional festivals. Although most Filipinos today do not eat dog meat and national laws have banned the killing of dogs for food, some indigenous communities in the northern mountain regions, such as Benguet and the Cordillera, still preserve dog sacrifice rituals during religious ceremonies, weddings, or funerals. In their belief system, dogs are not just pets, but are considered offerings to ancestors or symbols of good fortune.
In India,
These
they do as
ceremonies are
well.
not
They
held
eat
publicly
cats.
and are typically kept
Jesus.
within the community, but images sometimes surface, sparking strong public backlash, especially from animal rights organizations and foreign tourists. To them, dogs are companions and family members, so the idea of butchering dogs during a celebration is seen as cruel and unacceptable. However, for the locals in these regions, it is not a matter of food consumption, but a sacred tradition rooted in their cultural and spiritual practices. In many cases, local authorities avoid interference, recognizing these areas as culturally distinct zones. Number 5. Filipino husbands often listen to their wives. If you're a man visiting the Philippines for the first time, you might feel a bit surprised, even confused by the role of women here, which is quite different from what you may be used to in other parts of Asia. In the Philippines, women are not just homemakers. Many are the true pillars of the household, both financially and in decision-making. In many families, it's the woman who manages the money, handles the expenses, raises the children, and even decides on major matters like buying a house, getting a new car, or choosing a school for the kids.
I guess in a relationship,
Men
it
still
should
work,
be
of course,
equality, you know,
but they often
50-50.
hand over their entire salary to their wives. This isn't something forced by society, it comes from trust. Many Filipinos believe that women are more careful and better at thinking long-term when it comes to managing family affairs.
It's true.
Beyond the home, women in the Philippines also outnumber men in university enrollment, and a significant number run small businesses or hold managerial positions in companies, more so than in many neighboring countries. The Philippines is also one of the few Southeast Asian nations to have had a female president, and in popular culture, strong and decisive women are often celebrated, whether in television dramas, pop music, or traditional family life. Number 6. Napping in public places. If you take a walk around cities in the Philippines at midday, you'll easily come across people napping in public, something that might be seen as inappropriate or unusual in many other countries. Here, from jeepney drivers and construction workers to office employees and students, it's completely normal to see people lying back on park benches,
you have to take a nap, so what?
Or even inside their vehicles to catch a quick nap during the day. No one feels embarrassed or judged for taking a rest outdoors. In fact, napping at noon is considered essential for recharging energy, especially in the country's hot climate, with long work hours or demanding commutes. Many offices don't even prohibit employees from sleeping briefly at their desks. For those who start work early or work night shifts, a 15-20-minute nap may be the only way to stay alert and functional. If you want to fully immerse yourself in the local rhythm of life, don't hesitate to try a quick nap in the middle of the city. It might just become one of your most memorable experiences while...
By the way, a quick thing over here. I'm going to come to visit the Philippines. If you're new on the channel, you don't know this. I have a lot of videos about the Philippines, and I fell in love with the country and the people. And seeing this video, I don't know why the title was like that. I mean, because what I'm seeing, for me, it's awesome, and I don't know, it's like, I want to go even more to live this, you know? I don't think I'm going to come back after I visit the Philippines. That's the thing that I'm afraid of.
Exploring the Philippines. Number 7. Toilets without toilet paper. After a quick public nap, you might find yourself needing to use the restroom. But be warned, this can be one of the mild shocks many tourists experience when visiting the Philippines. In many public restrooms, casual eateries, and even some larger restaurants, toilet paper is often not provided. Instead, you will typically find a plastic pail and a dipper for washing with water, known as a tabo. Here, Filipinos primarily use water for personal hygiene instead of paper.
In Italy, it's the same. I mean, you can find the toilet paper, but as well, you have a bidet.
But the surprises do not end there.
So
even the way
even more
everyday
hygiene,
items are
I
named
guess.
in the Philippines can lead to amusing misunderstandings for foreigners. Here, tissue is the general term for paper towels, toilet paper, or napkins. Conversely, napkin is understood to mean a feminine hygiene product. So, if you enter a restaurant and ask, "Can I get a napkin?" do not be surprised if the staff momentarily hesitates before asking you again with embarrassment. The advice is to simply ask for tissue to avoid these comical and potentially awkward encounters. Number 8. Using the restroom without asking. One unique thing about the Philippines is that you can use the restroom in a coffee shop, fast food place, or supermarket without needing to buy anything or ask for permission
amazing.
first.
That's
Unlike
good.
in many other countries where you have to ask for a code, get a key, or prove you've made a purchase, restrooms here are almost always open to anyone who needs them. Staff members don't question you or make it difficult. In fact, they'll often kindly point you in the right direction if you're in a hurry to find the restroom. For Filipinos, it's simply about helping others. A toilet shouldn't be something reserved only for paying customers. That said, we do suggest only doing this when you really need to, when it's truly urgent. And if you're a tourist who ends up using a shop's restroom, it's a thoughtful gesture to buy a bottle of water or a small snack afterward. It's not required, but it's definitely appreciated. No 9. Karaoke culture. Fun but sometimes dangerous. If you ask which country loves karaoke the most, the Philippines would almost certainly top the list. Karaoke is everywhere in bars, restaurants, residential neighborhoods, private homes, and even out on the sidewalks. Filipinos can sing karaoke for any occasion: birthdays, family gatherings, festivals, or simply to unwind after a long day at work. What makes it special is that here, everyone grabs the mic with confidence, no matter how well they sing. Kids, adults, and even the elderly all have their favorite go-to songs, and most are happy to sing when invited or even when they're not. Karaoke has become a true part of community life, filling the air with music and laughter from morning until night. But karaoke in the Philippines isn't always just fun and games. There was a time when the iconic Frank Sinatra song My Way was banned or restricted in some karaoke bars due to its unexpected link to arguments and even violence. The song's popularity meant everyone wanted a turn, but when someone sang it poorly or too loudly, it sometimes led to serious disputes. As a result, some venues removed My Way from their playlists to avoid any potential conflict. Although such incidents are rare today, they've become part of the legend surrounding karaoke in the Philippines, a culture that is not only vibrant and joyful, but also comes with a surprisingly dangerous edge. Number 10. Honking as a form of communication. Filipinos don't just express themselves through singing, they also talk to each other using car horns. If it's your first time walking through the streets of the Philippines, especially in big cities like Manila or Cebu, you'll quickly notice that the sound of car horns is almost constant. But don't be too quick to get annoyed. For locals, honking isn't about pressure or anger. On the contrary, it's a widely accepted form of communication, sometimes even more effective than words. Drivers use their horns to ask for space to pass, say thank you, signal someone to slow down, or simply greet each other. On narrow roads, in heavy traffic, or at busy intersections, honking often replaces turn signals as a way of letting others know you're coming through. Some drivers even develop their own horn codes. 2 short honks mean thank you. 1 long honk means please let me through. And if you hear a horn pattern with a bit of rhythm, it might just be a friendly tease between drivers who know each other. In the Philippines, the car horn isn't noise, it's conversation on wheels. Number 11. Jeepneys, the national public transport and the rainbow graveyard of retired buses. In the noisy world of Philippine traffic, filled with all kinds of honking signals, the most recognizable sight on the streets is the iconic jeepney, the country's most famous mode of public transport and a beloved cultural symbol. Originally adapted from U.S. military jeeps left behind after World War II, jeepneys were transformed by Filipinos into passenger vehicles with extended bodies, 2 long bench seats, and colorful, eye-catching designs. Covered in vibrant paint, decorative lights, and bold patterns, each jeepney is a rolling piece of art. Millions of Filipinos ride jeepneys every day to school, to work, to the market, or just to visit friends. The fare is cheap, they run almost around the clock, and you can hop on or off anywhere along the route just by raising your hand. Each jeepney reflects the personality of its driver and elements of popular culture, from funny slogans and religious icons to superheroes and music band posters. What's even more fascinating is what happens when a jeepney retires. Instead of being dismantled right away, Old vehicles are often moved to large storage lots affectionately called rainbow graveyards. There, rusty but still brightly painted jeepneys become popular photo spots for young people and a source of inspiration for street artists. For many, jeepneys are not just a way to get around, they are a cultural symbol of urban life in the Philippines. Number 12. Street food that's both shocking and delicious. Street food in the Philippines is known for its variety, creativity, and a fair share of dishes that can make foreign visitors squirm. One of the most infamous is balut, a fertilized duck egg with a partially developed embryo, complete with tiny feathers and beak, typically eaten with salt, pepper, and herbs. Just cracking it open and seeing the tiny duckling inside is enough to make some Western tourists run the other way. But for Filipinos, balut is a beloved delicacy and often seen as a rite of passage for anyone wanting to truly experience local culture. Another dish that often causes hesitation is betamax, congealed animal blood sliced into rectangular blocks, skewered, and grilled over open charcoal flames. Then there's isaw, which is chicken or pork intestines, cleaned thoroughly, marinated, and grilled until crispy.
Looks good.
It's a popular street snack, but can be quite intimidating for first-time eaters. Some vendors even sell durian, the famously divisive fruit often described as smelling like hell but tasting like heaven. For locals, eating balut or durian is almost a cultural initiation, a way of truly joining the community. But Filipino street food isn't all about shock value. For something milder, you can try taho, soft tofu with sweet syrup and tapioca pearls, or banana Q, caramelized fried bananas on a stick. Kwek, which are quail eggs coated in orange batter and deep fried, are another crowd favorite, especially among students. There's also fish balls, fried on the spot and dipped into sweet or spicy sauces, and the iconic halo, a refreshing shaved ice dessert topped with various sweets,
I'm hungry now.
Perfect for hot summer days. It's this diversity that makes Filipino street food
not
just a culture shock, but a fun
and
flavorful adventure for anyone curious about Asian street cuisine. Number 13. Rice is true love. After trying all kinds of street food, from the bizarre to the sweet, you'll quickly notice one thing that stays the same in every Filipino meal. Rice is always present. Whether it's breakfast, lunch, dinner, a celebration, or just a quick snack, there is almost always a hot plate of white rice on the table. Some breakfast menus even include rice with sausage, rice with fried eggs, or rice with canned fish. Even at fast food chains like Jollibee or McDonald's, fried chicken is often served with rice instead of fries. And the rice portions are usually much bigger than what most Westerners are used to. Some people eat 3 or 4 bowls in a single meal. It can be paired with grilled meat, fried chicken, dried fish, sausages, or even hot dogs. Filipinos have a name for any dish that goes with rice. It's called ulam. In many households, a meal without rice just doesn't feel complete, no matter how many dishes are served. Some people even eat rice together with noodles or bread. For many foreigners, especially those from Western countries where carbs usually come in the form of potatoes, bread, or salad, this can be one of the most surprising parts of eating in the Philippines. Number 14.
Yes, I have a video about Pagpag.
Meals recycled from the trash. And if rice is considered the heart of every Filipino meal, then Pagpag is perhaps the most extreme example of just how far people will go for a full plate, even if it means picking food from the trash. Pagpag refers to leftover food thrown away by restaurants, fast food chains, or households, usually fried chicken, grilled meat, rice, or vegetables. These leftovers are collected, rinsed with cold water, seasoned again, and fried one more time before being sold at very low prices to those in need. The word pagpag in Filipino means to shake off dust, a symbol of shaking the dirt off discarded food before bringing it back to the table. In some neighborhoods across the Philippines, long lines of people waiting to buy hot servings of pagpag are not an unusual sight. At just around 40 pesos, or less than 70 cents in US dollars, it is even cheaper than a pack of instant noodles. For people who earn only $1 or $2 a day, this may be the only way to have a proper meal. The Philippine government has warned many times about the health risks of eating pagpag, but the demand remains, because for many people living in poverty, hunger is far more dangerous than bacteria. Number 15. A city that changed its clocks to boost productivity. Located in the southern part of the Philippines, The city of Davao was once known not only for its peace and cleanliness, but also for something truly unusual. At one point, the people there set their clocks 30 minutes ahead of the rest of the country to boost productivity. In the 1990s, Davao's local government introduced what they called Davao Time, a self-declared time zone that ran 30 minutes earlier than the national standard. The goal was simple: encourage people to start their day earlier, arrive at work on time, and finish earlier so they could spend more time with their families.
Man, that's amazing.
Government offices, schools, and even local television stations followed this time adjustment.
Beautiful.
Although it was never officially recognized by law, it became part of daily life in the city for years. In reality, this local time system worked surprisingly well for a while. Many schools, offices, and public services operated based on Davao time. Eventually, the city returned to the country's standard time to avoid confusion when dealing with other regions. But the story of a major city that once chose to move ahead of its time is still remembered today as a creative and uniquely Filipino approach to local culture and productivity.
Of course.
Number 16,
waste.
the plastic waste capital of Southeast Asia. If you visited the Philippines between 2010 and 2018, you probably witnessed some haunting scenes: beaches covered in plastic bags, canals clogged with used shampoo sachets.
I want to say something about Pagpag. You know, a lot of people said, wow, whoa, whatever, you know, you're eating that. But for me, it's a sign of respect, of power of the Filipinos, resilience and strength. So after I saw that documentary, I even had more respect for you guys out there.
And dead fish tangled in instant coffee wrappers. This beautiful island nation was once openly called the plastic waste capital of Southeast Asia. The root of the problem came from a unique consumption habit in the Philippines. Almost every product was sold in small, single-use sachets, from cooking oil, soy sauce, and toothpaste to shampoo, soap, and instant coffee. Everything came in tiny plastic packets. With low average incomes, many people preferred to buy just a little, just enough for today, leading to millions of plastic sachets being torn open and discarded every single day. These packets were rarely recycled or collected. Instead, they ended up flowing through canals, drifting with the current, and washing straight out to sea. What's even more surprising is how change began right inside the community itself. Without waiting for large-scale government programs, many schools, youth groups, and local residents launched their own grassroots efforts to turn plastic waste into something useful. Students collected used sachets and turned them into chairs. Locals made eco-bricks from trash to build walls. Weekend cleanup drives started popping up everywhere. In some supermarkets, shoppers got discounts for bringing reusable bags, and every Monday became No Plastic Day. Cities like Quezon and Baguio even passed laws banning single-use plastic bags, pushing vendors to switch to banana leaves, paper wrappers, or biodegradable packaging. Thanks to these efforts, many areas once known as plastic pollution hotspots are now cleaner and greener, leaving returning visitors pleasantly surprised by the transformation. Number 17. Security guards with guns who are incredibly friendly. In the Philippines, it's very common to see security guards stationed outside supermarkets, convenience stores, banks, gas stations, and even fast food restaurants like Jollibee. Most of them carry handguns or even rifles. For foreigners, especially those from countries with strict gun control, this sight can be quite intimidating or unsettling at first. But despite the armed appearance, security guards in the Philippines are often surprisingly friendly. They greet customers, smile, open doors, and are happy to give directions if asked. In many places, they're seen as part of the overall service experience, there to maintain order rather than intimidate. The presence of armed guards is largely due to the fact that many businesses operate 24/7 and are located in busy areas, so visible security is a practical measure. However, actual use of force is extremely rare. Most situations are handled calmly, and both guards and the public usually rely on polite conversation and respectful interaction to resolve issues. Number 18. Uniforms for everyone. In many Western countries, wearing a school uniform is usually optional, and students are free to choose their outfits when going to class. Even in some Asian countries known for their discipline, like Japan, South Korea, or China, uniforms are typically required only up to high school. But in the Philippines, uniforms are not just for younger students. They are worn all the way through college and are considered a core part of both school culture and everyday life. And it doesn't stop with students. Uniforms are a regular part of adult life too. Bank employees, hotel receptionists, security guards, flight attendants, and factory workers all wear uniforms according to strict workplace policies. In some schools, even children with autism or special needs are given the same uniforms as their classmates, as a way to promote inclusion and belonging. The reasons behind this tradition are both practical and cultural. Uniforms promote discipline, foster a sense of community, and help people recognize one another easily. In schools, they reduce visible differences between rich and poor students and encourage teamwork and equality. For tourists or foreigners living in the Philippines, the sight of uniforms being worn by people of all ages and professions often leaves a strong impression, as it shows just how deeply woven this practice is into Filipino society. Number 19. Unusual names and nicknames. In contrast to the discipline of wearing uniforms, Filipinos take a much more playful and spontaneous approach when it comes to names. Here, it's not unusual to meet a bank employee named Pepsi, a driver called Boy, or a female colleague named Baby or Girly. And these names that sound like jokes are often not just nicknames, they can be the person's official name on legal documents, used in the workplace, on contracts, and even in election campaigns. This creative naming tradition comes from a mix of reasons. Some are named after favorite things like Pepsi, Cherry, or Bong. Others have names that are a blend of their parents' names. For example, Joseph and Maria become Jamari. But most of the time, names are chosen simply because they sound fun or catchy. For many families, naming doesn't have to be formal. What matters is that the name is easy to remember, easy to say, and feels warm and personal. In fact, some people are never called by their legal names at all. A woman might be officially named Maria Concepcion, but everyone, friends, family, even her boss just calls her Baby. Many well-known politicians in the Philippines also use their nicknames in public life, like current President Bongbong, Marcos, or former Vice President Leni Robredo. This relaxed use of names and nicknames reflects the friendly and informal nature of Filipino culture. But for foreigners, calling your boss Baby or getting an email from a business contact named Honey can be a little confusing at first.
Especially if you have
Number 20.
A jealous wife.
Being late is perfectly normal. In the Philippines, being late is more than just a habit. It's a cultural norm often referred to as Filipino time. At social gatherings, family parties, and even work-related events, it's common for people to arrive at least 15 to 30 minutes later than the scheduled time. For birthdays, weddings, or festivals, guests almost never show up at the exact time written on the invitation. But instead of getting upset, Filipinos usually see this as perfectly normal. No one complains. It's a reflection of the culture's flexible attitude,
in the south
where comfort
of Italy
and relaxation are often valued more than strict punctuality. In fact, some hosts have learned to work around this by intentionally setting the event time 30 minutes to an hour earlier than they actually plan to begin. In recent years, though, the government and younger generations have started encouraging change. Campaigns like One Time were launched to promote punctuality, especially in professional settings where time management is essential. Still, Filipino time remains a unique part of the culture, something that often surprises foreign visitors and becomes a lesson in patience and adaptation for those who choose to live or work in the Philippines. Number 21. Calling strangers brother and sister. One of the things that often surprises and warms the hearts of foreign visitors in the Philippines is the way people greet and address each other. When meeting an elder, Filipino children often take the elder's hand and gently press it to their forehead. This gesture is called mano po. It's a sign of deep respect, almost like a blessing and a thank you rolled into one simple act. Another unique aspect is how Filipinos often address strangers with affectionate terms like kuya, meaning older brother, or ate, meaning older sister, even if they've never met before. When you ask for directions, order food, or enter a store, you might be called kuya or ate instead of sir or ma'am. This creates a warm and inclusive atmosphere, as if everyone belongs to one big extended family. In conversations, Filipinos tend to avoid direct confrontation or harsh arguments. Instead of saying a flat no, they might respond gently, indirectly, or simply smile and politely decline. This reflects the cultural value of pakikisama, the desire to maintain harmony and keep relationships smooth and peaceful. Number 22. The Kingdom of Ghosting. You might be surprised to learn that before smartphones and social media took over the world, the Philippines was once known as the SMS
they send a lot of SMS, I know.
Throughout the 2000s, when mobile phones first became popular, Filipinos quickly became the world's top texters, sending more than 1 billion messages per day. That number was higher than the combined total of the United States and Europe. The reason? Texting in the Philippines was incredibly cheap, and many mobile plans offered unlimited SMS within the same network, turning text messaging into a central part of everyday life. Even today, while most people now use apps like Messenger, Viber, or Telegram, texting remains a favorite way to communicate. Filipinos text family, friends, co-workers, and often use texts instead of phone calls. But if you're dating or just getting to know someone in the Philippines, don't expect a consistent stream of replies. The country is also known as the ghosting capital. You might exchange dozens of texts with someone in the beginning, only for them to disappear overnight without a word. No response, no explanation. This is especially common in new relationships that start online, leaving many foreigners confused or disappointed. In Filipino culture, being seen but not replied to isn't always meant to offend. Sometimes it just means someone got tired, forgot, or didn't want to say no directly. It reflects the Filipino style of gentle, indirect communication, a way to avoid confrontation, even if it can lead to misunderstandings for people used to more straightforward cultures. So if you feel an instant connection through a string of texts, and then a few days later they're suddenly offline for good congratulations, you've just experienced a very real part of the Philippines' unique communication culture. Number 23. Chocolate Hills. Land that looks like candy. When it comes to natural wonders, the Philippines has no shortage of jaw-dropping sights. One of the most unique and iconic landscapes in the country is the Chocolate Hills, located on the island of Bohol. This area is home to more than 1,200 perfectly cone-shaped hills, packed closely together and spread across a vast area, creating a view that feels almost otherworldly. During the rainy season, the hills are covered in lush green grass, but when the dry season arrives, the grass turns light brown, giving the entire landscape a rich chocolate color. The hills begin to resemble giant candy drops rising out of the earth, which is exactly how they got their name, the Chocolate Hills. There are many legends about how these hills came to be. One tells of two giants who threw chunks of earth at each other during a battle, then walked away, leaving behind the strange battlefield. Another says a heartbroken god cried over his lost love, and his tears formed the hills. But in reality, the Chocolate Hills are a rare geological formation created over millions of years, as ancient coral and limestone were gradually eroded by natural forces. Today, the Chocolate Hills are not only a major tourist destination, but also a proud symbol of Bohol and of the Philippines as a whole. Number 24. A church built from coral, a limestone treasure. On the island of Bohol, alongside the famous Chocolate Hills, there is another remarkable treasure that leaves many visitors in awe, the Baclayan Church. It is one of the oldest churches in the Philippines, built almost entirely from coral stone. I would love to see this. Construction began in 1595 during the Spanish colonial period and was completed in the early 18th century. What makes this church truly unique is the material used to build it. Locals harvested coral from nearby seas, dried it out, and used a mixture of egg whites and crushed seashells as mortar to bind the coral blocks together. This created thick, cool, and incredibly strong walls. If you look closely, you can actually see fossilized coral patterns, seashells, and even the outlines of ancient fish embedded in the stones, details you won't find in churches across Europe or anywhere else. Thanks to this building technique, the church has stood for centuries, retaining its beauty and structure despite storms, earthquakes, and the passage of time. Inside, many original elements remain intact, including an inlaid wooden altar, Baroque-style murals, and intricately carved columns and ceilings. Another fascinating detail is the ancient crypt located beneath the church. This was once used to bury priests, missionaries, and notable figures from the community over the course of hundreds of years, adding even more historical depth to this already extraordinary site. Number 25. Taal Volcano, the smallest volcano inside a bigger volcano. Taal Volcano is one of the most extraordinary natural wonders, not just in the Philippines, but in the entire world. Located about 60 kilometers south of Manila, Taal is often called the smallest active volcano in the world. But what truly makes it unique is its mind-bending, layered structure, a volcano within a lake, inside another volcano, with yet another lake on top. From above, Taal sits in the middle of a large body of water known as Taal Lake, What many don't realize is that this lake itself lies inside the massive collapsed crater of an ancient supervolcano. The current volcano appears as a small island in the middle of the lake, and on that island is another crater holding yet another lake. In other words, it's a volcano in a lake, within a volcano, with another lake at its center. This rare geological formation is one of only a few of its kind in the world. Taal is still active today, occasionally releasing ash clouds and causing tremors in the surrounding area. Despite its volatility, the region around Taal Lake remains a popular travel destination. Visitors can take a boat to the island, hike up the crater rim, and witness the breathtaking layer within a layer view with their own eyes. The contrast between the peaceful lake and the silent power of the volcano creates a magical, almost surreal experience, both calming and thrilling at the same time. Number 26. Flooding as a local specialty. In the Philippines,
I saw some videos
flooding
with the
has become
typhoon,
something
guys,
of a
and
rainy
how you
season
are
trademark.
so resilient
Just a few
and
hours
funny.
of heavy rain can turn city streets into rivers, with water rising to knee level or even up to the waist in some areas. This happens almost every year, especially during the rainy season from June to November, and locals seem to have adapted to it as part of daily life. The main reasons include intense rainfall, an underdeveloped drainage system, rapid urbanization, and clogged waterways caused by garbage and illegal settlements along rivers and canals. But what surprises most visitors is not just how deep the water gets, it's how unfazed the people are. Even when streets are flooded, children float around on makeshift rafts, vendors continue to push their carts, and some people even take the opportunity to go fishing right in the middle of the street.
Cool.
Many see the rising water as just another part of the day. They wait for it to recede, then go back to business as usual. While flooding clearly reflects serious infrastructure challenges, the cheerful and adaptive spirit of the Filipino people makes the experience feel far less overwhelming than you might expect. Number 27. More than 20 earthquakes every day. In the Philippines, flooding isn't the only natural challenge people face. Another regular visitor is earthquakes. The country sits right along the Pacific Ring of Fire, one of the most earthquake-prone regions in the world. According to reports, the Philippines experiences more than 20 earthquakes every single day, meaning the ground is almost never truly still. Fortunately, most of these quakes are very minor and can only be detected by specialized instruments. Only occasionally do stronger earthquakes occur, causing buildings to shake, furniture to move, or warning sirens to sound in major cities. Because the country is crisscrossed by active fault lines, cities, schools, and offices follow strict earthquake preparedness procedures. Regular drills and evacuation plans are part of daily life. In many schools, children are taught from an early age how to recognize the signs of an earthquake and how to respond safely. For tourists, hearing about more than 20 earthquakes a day might sound alarming at first, but in reality, most travelers never even notice them. Seismic activity is simply part of nature in the Philippines, but it doesn't get in the way of your adventure, your vacation, or your cultural experience. Number 28. Filipinos are extremely friendly, hospitable, and speak very good English. Despite the challenges of nature, what truly captures the hearts of visitors to the Philippines is the people. One of the things that leaves the strongest impression on travelers is the genuine warmth and hospitality of the Filipino people. Whether you're lost in a quiet neighborhood, eating alone at a small food stall, or simply stepping into a corner shop, there's almost always someone ready to smile, start a conversation, or offer help without hesitation. Unlike in some tourist-heavy destinations where friendliness can feel like part of a service routine, in the Philippines it often feels completely natural and unforced. Locals are curious and welcoming, and it's not uncommon for a stranger to ask how you're doing, walk you to your destination, or even invite you over for a home-cooked meal, all without expecting anything in return. This is one reason why many foreigners who have lived in the Philippines describe it as one of the easiest places in Asia to feel at home. Another big reason visitors feel so comfortable here is language. English is one of the country's 2 official languages, and it's taught from elementary school through university. That means you can easily communicate with taxi drivers, food vendors, children, and even elders without needing a translator. In fact, many Filipinos speak English with such a natural American accent that you might not even realize they're not native speakers. This high level of English proficiency has made the Philippines a global hub for customer service and a top destination for international students looking to learn English. It's just one more reason the country is as welcoming as it is unforgettable. Number 29.
Starts in
Christmas in
September.
the
I know,
Philippines starts
and
in
that's-
September.
Oh,
If you visit the Philippines in September,
I love
and
Christmas,
suddenly hear
so
Christmas music
having all
playing in
those months,
supermarkets, cafes,
it's beautiful.
or even from a radio on the street, you're not imagining things. Christmas has truly begun. In the Philippines, the holiday season starts as early as September and stretches all the way to January, making it the longest Christmas celebration in the world, lasting over 4 months. For Filipinos, Christmas is more than just a religious holiday. It's a season of family,
beautiful.
sharing, and joyful togetherness. People refer to this festive period as the Burr months because all the months September, October, November, December end in Burr. As soon as September arrives, classic Christmas songs begin playing on television and radio. Malls start putting up Christmas trees, twinkling lights, and launching major holiday sales. Families begin decorating their homes, hanging up star-shaped lanterns called parol.
Yeah, I know the
and
parole. I saw
preparing
the
their gift
documentary.
lists. The celebrations peak in December with Simbang Gabi, a series of 9 dawn masses held in the days leading up to Christmas. These are accompanied by countless parties, family reunions, and cultural shows. Whether in cities or countryside villages, young and old alike join in the festive spirit that fills the country for months. For foreign visitors, feeling the Christmas vibe while it's still sunny and warm outside might come as a bit of a culture shock. But it's also part of what makes Christmas in the Philippines so unforgettable, joyful, heartfelt, and unlike anywhere else in the world. Number 30. Schools might close for a beauty pageant. If you think festivals in the Philippines are just about music, food, or religion, then you probably haven't felt the heat of a good old beauty pageant. During fiestas, traditional celebrations held in every village, town, or city district, the beauty contest is often the most anticipated event. And this isn't just for show. In many places, schools, offices, and even local government units may temporarily pause their activities so everyone can either compete in or cheer for the pageant. Some communities go even further by hosting specific competitions for different groups, such as Miss Gay, Miss Barangay, Little Miss Philippines, or even Miss Senior Citizen for the elderly. Among these, the Miss Gay pageant is especially popular and widely celebrated, reflecting the country's surprising openness toward the LGBTQ+ community, something that many foreigners don't expect from a traditionally Catholic nation. The Philippines really is an upside-down world full of surprises, isn't it? If you found this video interesting, don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel, and share it with your friends so they can join the adventure too. Which fact impressed you the most? Or is there another country you'd like to explore next? Let me know in the comments below and see you in the next journey.
Is down below,
the
guys.
information is for reference only, so please do your own research before making any decisions.
The original video is down below. I don't know why the title of this video that I reacted to was the Sinful thing, because there were only beautiful things about the Philippines. And I was in love with the Philippines before, and now I need even more with every damn video. But this one, with every single thing, I mean, I want to experience that, feel that. And especially, when I'm going to visit the Philippines, I'm not coming only for the country, for the beautiful, the sea and all that kind of stuff. I'm coming for the people, for that feeling of being part of the family. And you guys in the comments, I really thank you for that, because you're telling me that I'm a Filipino by heart. And thank you for having me. And I guess it's an honor to being a Filipino, not by birth, but by heart as well. Beautiful thing, guys. I don't know. Let me know what you think. Or you agree with some of these things. I guess they're real, of course. But yeah, beautiful. I repeat, I don't know why the title. Maybe it was for attracting views. I have no idea. But it was a well documentary made. The original link is down below. Go and show some support to the channel that made this possible. And Mark, who sent this, the link on the channel. I'm going to leave here another video about the Philippines, 25 facts, which you should go and take that a look about the Philippines. And yeah, a lot of other videos come to the channel. Make sure to subscribe. And like I always say, stay safe.